So Discraft was kind enough to send me out one of their new releases, which I think is coming in early 2024. It's actually gone in my Florida bag just because I didn't have something crazy overstable. It's the new Jawbreaker Z-Flex Captain's Raptor. They look really cool. I really like this Wonder Bread one. Funnily enough though, I had asked Discraft when they reached out to me, hey, could you send me the last couple years as well? So I could do just a massive comparison video of the 2024 versus the 2023 and the 2022, because they're all different plastics. Yuli was saying that this new one kind of flies in between those two, but since it's a Z-Flex plastic, it hits and sits a little bit better. We'll be the judge of that. When I opened up and saw that Discraft had sent me out 3 awesome cap wraps, as well as a nice big Ultimate disc, I was stoked. I posted that story and they're like, oh shoot, we forgot the Z cap wrap and the ESP cap wrap. They're literally on my desk right now. So I asked if anybody in Orlando had some. Didn't hear back from people for a while. Discraft ended up shipping them out to me, so I'll be getting them. But in the meantime, we wanted to review them. Big shout out TJ. He had a old Z cap wrap as well as an old ESP cap wrap. This is supposed to be straighter. And honestly, if I like how these are flying today, there's a potentially good chance that they'll make my bag, and we'll talk about why here in a second while we play 9 holes. Cool. Dang. But if you guys know me, you've known I've thrown Firebirds this year, and so I have this red Firebird in my bag, which flies more like a Thunderbird right now. I really love how this is beaten in. And I've had flat top Firebirds in my bag, which I thought I liked a lot, and I like the stability of. They're way more overstable than a typical Firebird, but the flatness of them, and you guys know me, I like a slight dome even on my super overstable stuff. So these kind of have that. And so I want to see over these 9 holes, just throwing these discs, if they'll make my bag instead of a flat top Firebird next year. And maybe I'm not even allowed to throw them, so who knows? We're gonna play long to longs today, because I think that's probably best with some fairway drivers. Let's quick take a look to see how different these guys actually look profile-wise. I was surprised at how similar, I mean, I guess not surprised, they're the same mold, but. This is what the new cap wrap looks like. A little tiny bit of dome, nothing crazy. Put it up against the first run, the 2022 Z run. You can tell it definitely looks a little bit flatter, but more similar than you'd think. This is definitely stiffer plastic than the Z-Flex right here, way gummier. And if we put this guy up against the ESP looks like it's got a little bit higher of a shoulder, honestly, right here, where the 2 parts of the mold meet is the parting line, and then your shoulder is right here, and then the dome at the top. We're gonna be pitting all 3 of these against one another, and if any of TJ's cap wraps beat the new Z-Flex, I'm gonna give him one of these Z-Flexes when I drop these back off at his house. I think we're gonna be throwing this purple one with the Wonder Bread stamp, because like, come on. Long to long here, it looks like, they call it 375, I think it's closer to 350. Odd man out will go first, right on the T-pad, love it. And it is gonna be none of them, so we'll go Z-Flex first. This is kind of a pump for these super overstable guys. Here, nose angle is so important. You gotta get the nose down, because if it's nose up, it's dumping. Wow, those are so overstable. Oh, so short, okay. Guess I need to be stronger. Got the Z. Oh, that was not quite as turned, but also seemed to be more overstable. Yikes. All right, let's get a good one into this. Okay, that's okay, wow. Looks like Yuli, who throws and made the cap wrap, knows what he's talking about. Those definitely seem to be 3 relatively different stabilities. Man, I also am not throwing on nearly as much anhyzer as I need to. I'm gonna throw my arm off today. That's why I'm only doing 9 holes. I'm actually filming this after I film 4 of these videos, but I'm starting the Florida Christmas Championship Series. It's gonna be 6 videos from Christmas to the day before New Year's Eve, hoping New Year's Eve is my announcement day, where more and more will be revealed about my sponsor. It'll be a little Christmas present to me and to you. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I definitely hope that you enjoy this series. What I like about these is even with that dome, it's a little bit more controlled of a finish. Nothing insane. I do like the flat top Firebirds, but I feel a little more comfortable when there is some sort of dome. I feel like my hand grips onto discs a little bit better. And it doesn't even have to be a crazy dome. Maybe not even a dome, maybe just a little bit of a shoulder. Like these discs are pretty flat, but they have a shoulder. My red Firebird is not even close to as overstable as these cap wraps are. Especially nowadays, I've been getting a lot of like Firebirds that, like the newer Firebirds that I've been getting or that I've been running in my own drops have not been nearly as overstable as these. So having something that out the box is pretty overstable, like these cap wraps, having it in a couple different plastic types is definitely exciting. And I'm interested to see if this continues to be true, that on just those first couple throws, I felt like the ESP was a little straighter than the Z-Flex, and the Z was a little bit more overstable. The reason we rush those putts, we won't do that from here on out. We'll actually putt them out, but I keep forgetting this is a 9-hole course, and people will play loops of it. And so I saw some people like walk back to their cars, and I realized, oh shoot, they're stopped back at the T-pad. This Z cap wrap, I also really like because it's almost as deep feeling, if not a little deeper than my Firebirds. And like Raptors are way too shallow for me to feel comfortable forehanding or backhanding a lot of times. But these feel very comfortable. I'd actually never touched them until they sent them to me. I'd never thrown a cap wrap before. But then feeling these, obviously, this plastic is just killer. Awesome out of this craft. This is 315 out there to the right, you can see. I mean, you gotta get it nose down and you gotta get it flexed. Inside of that tree, hope that it'll skip a little bit. Skip. Okay, it's a little short. I gotta remember, dude, these things, I gotta treat them like flat top fibers. They do not wanna go anywhere. Z cap wrap. Yeah, I don't know if I'm just misreleasing it worse, but it is fighting out a lot faster than that Jawbreaker Flex. Okay. I guess a part of me is slightly surprised because I was really expecting to feel a difference. And I know that the plastic makes so much of a difference, but the feel between all three of them is very consistent. Like I expected to see a little bit difference in the disc because of the different plastics, but the look and feel of them was way more consistent throughout than I expected. I really am gonna have to get over on that Z cap wrap because that thing is just a straight meat hook. And the Jawbreaker Flex is like kind of where I like my like overstable discs to be, in that pretty overstable, but still workable. Like that fought on those lines really well. Gonna skip it in. Tailwind, just gonna drop it. It's always so hard for me to aim above the band though. Even when there's a lot of tailwind, I'm always find myself aiming right at it. Dropping right in there. Beautiful. Sorry, TJ. Didn't mean to birdie with only that one. Rough life. Honestly, I think it's really cool what they've done with Yuli and his team. And I think, first off, it's awesome what Yuli's done with this last season, getting back into a tour championship spot. And then to create the Icon team, put him on that, give him his disc. Obviously, it's of course marketing, but it's also a little bit of respect. It's knowing that Yuli moves plastic, so you want to have his names on discs, but it's also respecting him for being with you and building that brand and showing that brand inside of Discraft. I'd honestly never touched these cap wraps because I ran Firebirds. That Shattered Van stamp is my stamp from earlier on this year. And I didn't really see a need to try out other molds, but trying this one out here, let's look at a Firebird real fast just to show you the difference. But you can see the cap wrap is a little deeper, not quite as fast looking. So this bluntness is gonna help slow it down. But this is kind of how most Firebirds have been coming out. Not domey, but like not flat, like not FAF, like it's flat on top, if not a slight dome, and this wing doesn't push up to the top of the disc, which is what a FAF flat top Firebird does. These are much more similar to that shape, but they have like a little indent on the shoulder here that I think also does a similar job in slowing the disc down and not letting it go super fast. It's an interesting little mold. This is a little more flat, like beveled. Maybe that's why it's a little more overstable out of the hand. This also has that little indentation. So I think we should be good here. 307, you can see the basket slightly to the left. Really just throw it flat out here and get a big flare skip is kind of the play. Flat to hyzer. No way. That was a little low. This one, we are gonna throw flat because this thing is stable, boy. Yeah. Oh, it skipped right past the basket. This one's gonna have a little hyzer, I think. A little inside again. The way that these are coming out of my hand, they're not quite as aggressive as a flat top Firebird has been. And I think that has to do with how flat it is and just the way that wind moves over a disc. I don't exactly know how, but I think that's the reason. It's kind of funny, the harder I've thrown and the more comfortable I am feeling like I can throw basically any disc, the more I've gravitated towards this that I don't feel like I should throw, but that I like to throw, which for me has this little bit of dome, has this little bit of shoulder. It's still very overstable, but not in the same type of way. On a little backhand skip shot. Oh, come on, dude. We're gonna get one of those today. Well, hopefully not. Hopefully we keep throwing them better, but this one, does it act an actual putt? If it doesn't, we gotta skip it. Dang. Nice. I do think this next hole, which you can see the basket, well, yeah, actually you probably can't. There's the red one right there. The yellow one is way back there. It's gonna be a pretty difficult hole from the longs, so this could definitely get squirrely. The basket is kind of straight through there. They call it 300 feet. And we gotta go, we don't have to, but we're gonna go through this little gap on a flex forehand. There's definitely a chance that this is gonna continue fighting for a slot in my bag if I can even throw it next year, but I really like how it feels so far, and the Z Flex is such a fun plastic. This is definitely more reminiscent of my flat top Firebirds though, so we just punch it through the gap on some anhyzer, hopefully give ourselves a look. Wow, that is so overstable. Okay, that was probably close to ace in the red one. Money. Yeah, I mean, way less overstable, but it was also more nose down, so it's not gonna be as overstable. And the ESP. Oh no, beautiful little shot here. Nailed it. Don't say that until it gets through the cap. Don't say that until it gets through the cap. It's still overstable. Oh! Stay up. Dang it. Oh! If you watch the series that I have coming out over the next week or so, you'll see how much different the Z Flex cap wrap flies compared to my Red Firebird. And I think it's a stability that is very utility, but it's kind of funny, you'll see in that series too, I've been taking it out in places where I don't necessarily need a utility disc, but I just like the way that this thing throws and feels, and because maybe it's not like super flat or overstable, it doesn't feel as utility, which I think is probably good for me because it means that I want to take it out of the bag more and practice with it. Like my flat top Firebirds get almost no use because I'm like, oh, it's a utility disc. And then when I need it, I'm not very practiced with it, so I don't throw it very well. Okay, not gonna lie, I tried to throw some forehand rollers, a shot that I'm already not good at, and they sucked. So we're gonna take a more traditional line. Honestly, it looks like if we can flex them, not straight down the gap, but between that Y tree and the one to the left of it, and like actually be on turn, might be able to give ourselves a look. Money. Let's get back. I didn't see it, but I feel like it was good. Oh! Honestly, that same shot I think drifts more with this ESP one. We're not gonna try to throw it, but yeah. Oh, it's like it's getting sand skips. Maybe that's why. So I guess technically it's 3 through 3 through that gap, but we're gonna call it 2 through 3 since we hit that tree. I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, this I think has to be a tomahawk or something. Did I do it? I think for me, the Jawbreaker Z Flex is kind of my second favorite. I think I almost prefer the Z one. The ESP I think is too close to my Firebirds. Or like if I didn't have Firebirds, I could just have all cap wraps and that could be the case. But if I'm going to be having like a 9-speed that I beat in to be a little straighter, like that Firebird is for me now, I'd probably rather keep it that way. Let's go. See, Raptor just clawed one back. But I feel like that Z cap wrap has almost the same left-to-right movement as my flat top Firebirds do. Maybe not quite as much, but I also don't feel like I have to really get it going as much as I do this flat top Firebirds, which I much prefer, honestly. Z cap wrap has the box like this almost. Let it pan left almost over that basket and then fight out. This one a little bit less, and then this one like I've thrown almost flat a couple times and it's still got, it hasn't turned, but it's like held the direction that I've thrown it flat where these other ones want to get out of it. Wow, that is a beautiful flight. Dude, I get along with these cap wraps, holy cow. I think that same flight's actually gonna push a little farther and be a little bit more left, which is kind of how I need this to shape. Yeah, I mean, just a little more mid-flight. That's all it is. It's, oh, that got gobbled up. It's just a little bit more push in the mid-flight, so it just keeps going that way. I mean, talk about pushing mid-flight, go in. Those are all so good. I mean, it's still, the ESP is still very, very, very overstable. I don't know if I've been giving it enough credit. This is also one of the things that I'm thinking about, which I think makes sense, because I feel like I put this and the Z one on a very similar angle, but this one's about 40 feet shorter, and I feel like that's because I don't feel as confident in really ripping over on it like I do that Z cap wrap, which is good to realize, because that one is just outside the circle. ESP one is basically parked. Dude, let's go. Also, funny update on the Shades Anthony story. I messaged the guy on Facebook who said that he knew a whole blah, blah, blah. He didn't message me back for like 2 weeks, and then just like 2 days ago, he's like, yo, I'm going to Paco Sanchez, a course in Denver right now. I'll play you for him. And I'm like, dude, I'm in Florida right now. And so we might play for him when we get back. I'll honestly probably just give him back to him. I don't want to have to play for him, but sad day for Shades Anthony. They're gonna be going more than likely. Dude. That was bad. I was aiming right here and I've been aiming up here, kind of like how I watch AB putt. That's bad. ESP is about to claw one back though. And so now this is back to even and the other two are at 2 down. Jawbreaker took the box with that birdie and the Z1 somehow missing a 25-foot putt. So my putting doesn't always work. It's more just for videos. It's not for how good the discs are. I promise. We're just gonna try to ace the red one instead of playing to the yellow. So red one it is. Some threw a good shot. That was really short. Get through. Oh, ooh. See? Skip in. That's in. What? Dude! Where did that miss? Honestly, I feel like I'm trying to cheat right now. I promise I'm not. I'm just bad at putting right now. I'm trying to learn these guys. Oh, it's because I'm too lean down. Gotta get my head up. We talked about that in a recent video. Tough little guy here. We're gonna play from the short because it's a par 4, 525 from here. I think the yellow one is actually, if we go through this corridor and skip left, which we've been playing yellows, so we'll keep playing yellows. Almost throw a roller with them down this main gap right here and see how far they'll flex and then fight. 385 to the yellow, which is like, it seems like down that corridor. It's kind of the play. So big jawbreaker Z flex. I think it's jawbreaker. It's something Z flex. And yeah, nice, nice, nice. Start for the left. Wow, it's so overstable. Snuck through. Ooh, hit a log. All right, the ESP might be our best chance to eagle this. Way better shot. That was gorgeous. Wow, that thing holds. Here, and just for reference, just so I have it too, I'll try this Firebird on the same line as that ESP one. See, it's moving way more right. Like it's moving on the turn instead of just holding the turn. Get around that. That's a little inside and got stopped up. Not ideal, but if the Z cap wrap gets up and down and they take the same score on hole 9, I might be out a Z flex cap wrap. All right, so I was definitely right. I should have just pushed a little straighter to that gap. The basket is basically straight ahead here. Got a nice little flex gap. Man, you feel like you burn it over and it's perfect. That's money. I really like that disc. It is not quite as dumpy left and right, which I really like. Had to have hit this tree or something because it's right on the other side of it and doesn't make sense if it didn't. It was fun to smack that initial gap and kind of just watch it ride. The Z cap wrap is parked. Where's that skip, dude? Then this one is inside of the bushes. We're gonna do like anti-skipping. Oh. Whoa. Okay, now you know that I just suck and I'm not throwing it away. All right, I have to ace with the Z flex. Otherwise it's lost unless I just like quadruple with the Z one. Remember when I said someone did something cool? He had aced.
Yes, sir.
Hole 3 he was?
Yeah,
let's go.
3 on shorts.
That's sick, dude. What was your name, man?
My name's Noah, but
Noah?
most people call me Fish, so.
Fish?
Yes,
Sick,
sir.
dude. Great to meet you.
Great to meet you.
You guys make me feel so special. All right, one more hole. It's crazy how daunting all these gaps were like a year ago. And granted, I've not hit all of them, but maybe it's just like a confidence thing, but they all feel so much less daunting. Time for the cap wraps. Crap the bad with this one. You know, I did it on purpose. I wanted to give one away. So I'm just a nice guy, not a bad putter. So remember that every time I miss a putt. Oh, it's too overstable for me. Well, it's too overstable if you don't flex it, but. Much more similar to the Firebird, but not even quite there. It's gonna be a good shot, but a little short. Okay, we're gonna have to juice this one. That is the epitome of embarrassment. Really had a blast with these. I'm excited that I'll be able to potentially try to bag some of them. Yeah, I really like these. If you want to snag any, use code. Just kidding. Was I supposed to say that or was I not? Got the one that's in my bag. This one's staying with me, and if you can tell, there's probably a little bit of a color coordination there. So we'll go ahead and drop this one off at TJ's. Don't need all 3 of them for now. Maybe I'll get some in allotment. Who knows? I don't know. You don't know. Nobody knows. There you go, TJ. It's the one that goes really far away from the basket. Like the video, but you gotta subscribe. Okay, all those were really bad. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you guys. I'll see you guys for my new series, which I'm super pumped about starting tomorrow.